Senator Portman, you have a somewhat unique voice in this debate because you're in the Senate now. You served in the House. You were George W. Bush's budget director. You also served as a policy advisor back in the day to George H.W. Bush. I want to take you back to that experience. Go back imagine it's 1990 when George H.W. Bush brought Democrats, brought Republicans to Camp David, to Andrews Air Force Base. Is our deficit debt crisis now worse than then or not as bad?
It's far worse, and it's far worse because of the fact that between Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, we probably have about a $100 trillion unfunded obligation going forward. That wasn't the case then. Our deficit as a percentage of our economy was also lower, and our debt, our national debt, was lower as a percent of the economy. So it's more difficult now for us to deal with the issue. It's also more important that we show leadership to do so.
And so
I would draw this interesting comparison because you mentioned the 1990 budget agreement and the risks that then President Bush took. You recall that came back to haunt him in the 1992 election campaign.
He lost an election. Let me interrupt, because he lost an election. The President of the United States, who happened to be a Republican at the time, broke his read my lips, no new taxes pledge. And you're right. There was a consequence to him. He lost an election. You could make an argument that Bill Clinton never would have balanced the budget were it not for the tax increase given to him by a Republican President, George H.W. Bush. Should Republicans now have the open mind and the courage to maybe lose their jobs like President Bush did for the good of the country and at least say, entering the conversation, we won't flatly, ideologically, reflexively rule out any tax increases?